So this is the guitar. It's a Danelectro Dano Pro reissue from 2007 or thereabouts. I just installed the new Spurzo locking tuners and kept the one gold tooth just for fun. And it still has all the stock hardware on it. I just did the first demo with the stock hardware, took the strings off, they're right there. And now I'm going to swap the bridge out. So this is the original Dano bridge. And this is the bridge that comes with from CJ Tooling. I got two sets of saddles. I think it's the rosewood and then steel, the hardened steel saddles too. So I'll be swapping both of those out and then doing some comparisons to see how they sound. So here's the stock bridge taken out. There was just one screw screwing it in right here, and these two screws were there. It was just resting on top of them. So they were just to change the height of the bridge for the string action. So this is going to be very different because the CJ Tooling bridge will rest flush against the top of the guitar. So we'll see how that works. So here's the two screws that the old bridge rested on. Kind of interesting to see. Here's a wire that was wrapped around this screw to ground the bridge and the strings. So it's kind of a good thing to sort of see and be aware of. So here's the CJ Tooling bridge installed. A couple things I didn't notice until actually did this, which is that this screw is actually different from these two. It's got a raised head, and these are both flat heads, countersunk. This one's also countersunk a little bit, but it's got a little bit of a different head. Also, this guy is where the grounding wire is, and I'm not sure how Danelectro did it, but when I did it, the grounding wire actually stayed up above the hole pretty much the entire time. So at the very end, you can see it's just right there. It's being held flush against the bridge by the weight of the screw, so this one's not quite in all the way. So here's the CJ Tooling bridge fully installed. I kind of tried to get the saddles roughly in the right places based on the old bridge, but of course I'll have to intonate it. They did recommend using some cardboard to protect the bridge when you install the saddles, and I didn't do it at first, but as I predicted, putting the saddles on when the bridge is on the guitar is a lot harder than it is when they're not on the guitar. And I ended up getting some pretty decent rash here, right there especially, because the threads in this saddle were a little bit, they just needed to have a screw put through them first. So my recommendation would be actually take the screw, put it all the way through the saddle without the spring before you put the bridge and the saddle on the guitar itself. It's a lot easier to put the screw through the saddle when it's not mounted to the guitar the way that it is right here. And that way you'll clean the threads a little bit. It's a lot easier to get through this screw through the saddle the second time. Anyways, that was my experience. Alright, so now I've got the guitar strung up with the new bridge on it. One thing that kind of turned out to be a bit of a problem is the screws here are really high. You can't really see it right there, but I'll bring it a little bit closer in. So you can see they're really sticking up from the bridge. So what that means is that when you're trying to put your palm on your hand on the bridge, you can get a lot of poking. Luckily, CJ sent in a little envelope that says shorter screws if needed, shorter screws. So I'm going to swap those out. I already did the demo of the new bridge, so I'm going to swap these out, just take a quick video, and then swap the pickup out as well. So here is the new bridge with the rosewood saddles on it, and I swapped out the screws to set the bridge height, or the saddle height, with the shorter screws. And you can see they're still actually popping out of the top of those saddles quite a bit, so I might shorten them myself or find some other way to get a shorter screws in there. Or maybe what needs to happen is the neck needs to be shimmed. Somebody else had an experience with these bridges, and they said that they needed to shim the necks because of the low break angle of the strings over the saddles. I guess they didn't actually shim the neck. What they did is they just carved notches in the saddles to help the strings not slide around. So I haven't played enough for the guitar yet to experience a problem with that. But I would probably shim the neck before notching the saddles just to prevent saddle burrs or things like that to wear the strings. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and demo this new saddle with the same stuff as the other saddles.